The Supreme Court heard arguments Tuesday in a case that could fundamentally change how we use the internet. Gonzalez versus Google argues tech companies should be held legally liable for harmful content they recommend to users. The case stems from a 2015 ISIS attack in Paris. 130 people were killed, including Noemi Gonzalez, a 23-year-old American student. Her family argues that YouTube, a subsidiary of Google, used algorithms to help recruit members for the terrorist group. And similar algorithms, like those on TikTok, are being challenged in court as well. Jan Crawford spoke to a grieving mother who is fighting for answers.
10 years old, always smiling, Nyla Anderson was a shining star.
She was my butterfly. She was everything any mother can ask for.
Nyla died in December 2021 after attempting the so-called blackout challenge, which she had seen on TikTok. She's one of at least 15 children aged 12 and under who have died in just 18 months as a result of the challenge. Like other social media outlets, TikTok's algorithms recommend videos and other content to users. Anderson said that feature led to Nyla's death.
They are actually feeding into our children. They are sending them videos that they never even searched before.
In a statement to CBS, TikTok said dangerous challenges are strictly prohibited on our platform and promptly removed if found.
That's her twin brother.
Anderson sued TikTok and has filed papers in the case now before the Supreme Court that for the first time could hold tech companies accountable for some of the information and videos they are recommending to users. The companies say a 1996 federal law shields them from liability, and that the modern internet would not exist if companies couldn't sort and recommend third-party content to users. Free speech advocates say social media companies have rights similar to newspapers deciding what articles to publish.
People criticize social media platforms today, and they have the right to criticize them, but they don't have the right to legally force them to publish certain content, to not recommend other types of content, and so on.
But for Anderson and other grieving parents, that has to change.
How many more kids until it comes to an end? How many more? That's my question to them. How many more children until this stops?
A mother continuing to fight for answers. Jan Crawford, CBS News, Philadelphia.
Jan Crawford, thank you. For more on this, I'm joined by CBS News legal contributor Jessica Levinson. Okay, Jessica, this gets a little sticky, but what were your biggest takeaways from what you heard in Tuesday's arguments?
It certainly gets a bit sticky, and there were hours of arguments today. And as the package laid out right before we just had our discussion, this is really about when social media companies, big tech giants, when they can face legal liability for things that other people post on their sites, or when they recommend and amplify other content. Frankly, my biggest takeaway today is something that Justice Elena Kagan said maybe 2 hours into the argument, where she said, you're not looking at maybe the 9 greatest experts on the internet here, meaning she was pointing to herself and her colleagues saying, maybe we're not the ones to make this decision. And so one of the big themes from the argument today was really the idea that Congress should be the one to update these laws, that these laws were built at a time in 1996 when we were concerned about chat rooms. That is, 3,000 years ago when we're talking about internet years. And so we really do need to update our laws. We really do need to balance the ability of these tech giants to function without fears that they will constantly face lawsuits, but also at certain times when it's appropriate, hold them responsible.
So is it one of the options possible that the court just kicks it back to Congress? And then what's your expectation? Is there a way to empower companies to make the kinds of decisions they need to make sure that horrible things aren't being published, but in so doing, not put themselves on the hook for every darn thing that's ever published anywhere on any of their platforms, which are just coursing with millions of postings?
Well, exactly. So I see basically 2 questions here. One, what's going to happen with this case and a case that will be heard tomorrow that asks a very similar question? And what I heard from the justices today was basically not it. We don't want to be the ones to make this decision. Either let's throw this back down to the lower court and ask them to use a different standard, or let's try and kick this to Congress. But I heard them across the ideological spectrum really acknowledge maybe we shouldn't be the ones here really upending our understanding of when these social media companies can be liable. Now, in terms of what can happen, it really should be that Congress decides to look at the stakeholders and decides, yes, we want these media companies to function without a very, very aggressive content moderation, which would frankly be what they would need to do to avoid liability if we do decide to basically strip them of their protection. But we also want to make sure that now, because we're in a completely different world than we were a quarter century ago, that there are some situations where we say, you know what, you can face liability. To your question, there are actually 2 more cases in the pipeline that ask about the other side of this. So today's question was really about YouTube suggesting content to viewers. Tomorrow's question will really be about Twitter and whether or not they took down enough content. But there's 2 cases, one from Texas, one from Florida, that are coming up the pipeline, and they really directly address this question of when can social media companies, for instance, deplatform people? So I think the court's going to have to struggle with both sides of this for a while, actually.
Is it possible to explain the connection with ISIS here? Is it essentially that YouTube was recommending increasingly more violent things about ISIS to ISIS members that radicalized them, and therefore they created this terrorist event that caused this murder? Is that essentially the chain here?
I think that's exactly right.
Quickly, Jessica, what else has the court got ahead of it? Because it's a busy season.
It's a busy season, and tomorrow is a decision day. So we have some really big cases we're waiting for. I know people are used to the big cases coming out in June, but we're waiting for the affirmative action case. We're waiting for 2 big election law cases. We're waiting for a big case dealing with the Clean Water Act. So this is a busy season for the Supreme Court. And I know we always say this, but it's going to be another blockbuster term where the court really will change the fabric of our society by changing these legal laws.
Which means we'll be talking again soon. Jessica Levinson, thanks so much.
Thank you.